What is the real Sena's faction? Is it Uddhav Thackeray or Eknath Shinde? The speaker in Maharashtra will be giving out a verdict on that, and we'll be tracking the latest. So in this issue that you're looking at right now, it's the disqualification verdict about who is the real Sena. In just a short while, we are expecting by afternoon the Speaker of Maharashtra Assembly to be giving out that verdict. Rahul Narwekar will be then giving out the final decision on whether the faction belongs to Eknath Shinde or does it belong to Uddhav Thackeray faction. This could be a big moment, remember, for both leaders, because while this is as much about Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and 16 rebel MLAs' future, but remember the operative part only we are expecting at 4 p.m. and then a detailed order later. If the Speaker's verdict rules in favour of Eknath Shinde, looking at one of the scenarios, it will further cement the position in Maharashtra government for Shinde and will give him a stronger stamp of legitimacy. If the verdict is announced in Uddhav Thackeray's favour, it will then elevate Uddhav's position in the Maha as well and get back his legacy in the form of party name and symbol. Amid all of this, an urgent meeting was organised between Deputy Chief Minister Fadnavis and Chief Minister Shinde.
I would have expected a former Chief Minister to know what are the responsibilities and duties of a speaker. Just because he is adjudicating an issue pertaining to disqualification of members, that does not mean that he is seized from or he should not meet the Chief Minister with regards to other responsibilities devoted to the office of the Speaker.
Well, the disqualified MLAs can go to the court and challenge the decision of the Speaker. That is the only remedy. Because Speaker, so far as Speaker is concerned, his decision is final. He cannot review his own decision. So that can be reviewed only by the court. Therefore, they have to go to the court, and there is no other alternative.
Vidya is joining me in Mumbai for the latest on that. Vidya, we've seen the legal hassles that this who is the real Sena has been fought. But why do you think this verdict by the Speaker is going to perhaps be that final end? And that's my question to you. Do you think that the Speaker's verdict today could finally put an end to the layers and phases of who is the real Sena that we have been now witnessing for the past over 2 years?
Yes, in fact, the entire issue that rolled out in 2022, June 21, on June 21, 2022, that's really probably going to come to an end. But certainly the legal tussle will not. Pooja, in fact, as we all know, the moment that the Speaker gives his decision around 4 in the evening today, almost every side, every faction is ready to approach the Supreme Court with their lawyers ready to challenge whatever is the order that has been passed today by the Speaker. In fact, what we have gotten to know is that of the 34 petitions, Narwekar, the Speaker, has actually distributed them in 6 groups, and according to that, there will be a decision based on disqualification of certain people, the MLAs. But certainly, whether all 40 is from the Eknath Shinde faction, all the others from the Uddhav Thackeray faction, or just a few from both these factions, it all depends on what exactly is the conclusion of Narwekar, but the probability of an order being passed on all these 3 issues, whether it could be all the MLAs, or it could be some MLAs, that's something that Narwekar will really have to decide. But certainly, almost both factions ready to approach the Supreme Court with a challenge to whatever the order the Speaker will pass today. So the legal tussle will not end, but yes, the fact that who is the real Shiv Sena, that's something that will add. Remember, ECI, the Election Commission of India, has already given the entire symbol to the Eknath Shinde faction.
Correct.
But this particular recognition by the Speaker is something that will just add to the entire issue and probably help whichever party is going to go into the election.
It will be a step up in perhaps this whole conflict of the Sena faction with the disqualification plea order that is expected by the Speaker. and importantly 16 rebel MLAs and as much of members of parliament. Vidya, I do have an added question for the viewer, wondering of constantly us talking about who is the real Sena, wondering if there's already a government that's functional and that has been working, if the, as like you also said, ECI has given the symbol and the name to separate factions. How is this still standing? Why is this issue in the assembly? How can the speaker take an order and give an order on the disqualification plea? Now help us understand that.
Remember when Eknath Shinde had rebelled against Uddhav Thackeray's then chief ministership, at that time saying that the Shiv Sena was losing its identity. He had taken away 40 of their important MLAs, and the chief minister had to put in his resignation. But since then, the entire issue has been as to who is the real Shiv Sena. Remember, Eknath Shinde claims that he is the one who is a real prodigy, who has taken the thoughts of Bal Thackeray ahead. While it was Uddhav Thackeray himself, he joined hands with the Congress, and which was not exactly what Balasaheb Thackeray himself had ever wanted, as he was a Hindu Hriday Samrat and he never wanted to align the party with the Congress ever. But amidst all this, there were many disqualification petitions that were filed by both the factions. They removed, Uddhav Thackeray had removed Eknath Shinde as the leader of the party. The chief whip was changed. Similarly, Eknath Shinde also went ahead and appointed a leader who is as a chief whip. So both these parties had put in their own leaders.
Vidya, stay on with me. Vidya, stay on with me, because on this big story, and like you're mentioning, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde may have rebelled earlier from the Shiv Sena, but his future clearly hangs in balance too. The big news coming in right now is that an urgent meeting between Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar is underway at the CM's official residence, which is Varsha. Newly appointed State DGP Rashmi Shukla, Mumbai Police Commissioner Vivek Panslakar also is present. They're also present in this meeting. But this is, remember, also crucial. While there is an order on the disqualification plea that is expected at the Maharashtra Assembly. Vidya, tell us about this, because if there are senior cops who are in this meeting, this could be, of course, a routine affair as well being discussed about Maharashtra. But when this is so much about the political survival of Eknath Shinde, as much of Uddhav Thackeray too, could there be other discussions part in this meeting too, Vidya?
Well, Rashmi Shukla has just taken in as, the office of the Director General of Police yesterday. So certainly, the fact that she has to meet the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Ministers is something that she'll have to really do as a formal visit. But of course, since this entire issue is there, there is an expected, the fact that, if there is a law and order situation that really erupts after an order is passed by the Speaker as to who the real Shiv Sena is, that's something that the agencies, the investigating agencies, those maintaining the law and order situation will have to really look into. They cannot really, let this be as something that cannot be looked into. They'll really have to see that the law and order situation does not go out of hand. No two factions of Shiv Sena really come together and protest or, fight against each other. That's something that really has to be done. And that's one of the reasons also that this issue will be discussed, to maintain the law and order situation, whatever be the order of the Speaker today around 4 in the evening.
All right, Vidya will be tracking all the latest with our colleagues there in Mumbai. It's going to be a big day, remember. This may not be the end, but this will definitely be adding to the whole who is the Sena issue, really, with regard to at least the disqualification references coming in of the MLAs who had rebelled from the original Shiv Sena or Balasaheb Thackeray.